Hey guys, Zen here, and welcome back. Guys, the biggest update ever has just landed, and Ubisoft have addressed the shield epidemic in a major way. Also, a brand new elite, and an all-new class of elite that have sent the player base into somewhat of a heated debate. And a few operators have received some major buffs with an all-new way to one-hit kill any opponent. It's huge. And so guys, let's get into this one. But first, please, watch this.
I suppose most of you have heard of Zen.
One op 4 remaining. You have been spotted by hostiles. Fall back. Op 4 last
It's
op
easy to
standing.
do. You know,
Hell
it's
yeah.
easy. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. All right, man, I'm done.
10 seconds left. Op 4. One op 4 remaining. Op
You have the power to do more than you could ever begin to imagine.
After a decade and grinding through season after season, we've done it. We're champion in Rainbow Six Siege. Every single game solo queue with none other than Callie by my side. And that's where this begins. Callie is the boss, the CEO of Nighthaven. And after this major update to Siege, other Nighthaven ops know their place. Check this out.
Hey, boss. I just got another 1,000,000 hits.
Great. Another $12 of ad revenue. Phone off, Ace.
Right. Sorry, boss.
Guys, this one update has single-handedly changed everything. I want to know all of the details. Like this, a confrontation between Frost and Ella.
Watch where you place those things. I almost lost a leg last time.
If you learn to listen to me for once, Ella, you'd know where they are. Once a traitor, always a traitor.
Once a bitch, always a bitch.
Like, what happens next? Do they ever reconcile? And if they do, does that then change the voice lines and what we hear in-game? Or the final one here between Doc and Alibi.
Keep your head down this time. I don't want another scare.
Just don't shoot your syringe at a hologram again.
Guys, this is, as they say, peak. Just organically deepening the Siege universe by doing this is, again, everything. It actually reminds me of those viral clips of the Mortal Kombat characters going back and forth before a fight, and I, for one, spent literal days going over just about all of them and hearing the unique interactions between the fighters. If you're brand new to Siege, you may be asking, what is the big deal? But if you're returning, I think you'll find Ash threatening Deimos, or Ace being full of himself, at the very least, satisfying. And you too may spend a good chunk of time trying to hear what these operators care about and ultimately what they think of each other. And just before we get into those must-know game-changing updates, we have to touch on this. What you're seeing here is the first ever glimpse at the new Paragon elites in Siege, an all-new tier of elite that, as you can see, is totally over the top. Custom animations, unique weapon inspect, a friggin' laser sword at the end of the gun. This, for all intents and purposes, is the new highest class of cosmetic in Siege, at least in this particular instance, and man, has this been a heated debate across the player base. So, is this Siege? Moving forward, is these Paragon skins, do they fit within the scope of Rainbow Six Siege, or have the devs just lost their way here? There are some players who feel like, yeah, a skin like this, where there's tons of over-the-top animation and fantasy-like aesthetics, just does not work in a game like Siege, this super tactical hardcore shooter. And then there's the other camp that says this is the exact kind of thing that helps modernize Siege. These kinds of skins bridge the gap between what's been popularized in other shooters that newer players maybe have crossed over from. And on top of that, it's totally unique. There's truly nothing like this in Siege. Now, I'm gonna be totally honest here and be fully transparent with you guys and say this is just cool. As a Siege veteran and someone who's been playing this game for a decade, I've been there when everything was super simple. Skins were flat and bare bones, and of course for the longest time, and even to some degree today, Black Ice was the best you could ask for. And yeah, that was 10 years ago, and since then, Siege has had this, the Rick and Morty bundles. Also this, the iconic Mozzie pizza headgear, and even a collaboration with the WWE on some exclusive cosmetics there. But they've made sure to get around to some more gritty and tactical stuff as well, like with the Zero Elite reprising his role as Sam Fisher straight out of Splinter Cell, or even the newest Clash Elite that has her in an all-black, full-on tactical suit. I genuinely feel like all bases are covered here, and I think it's important to note the obvious, which is this is 100% cosmetic and optional. And it should also be noted that these animations are client-sided, which means that no other player other than yourself or the one using the skin will see these animations in action. No distractions, and also no sounds for anyone else in the lobby, which I think is a critical aspect to this whole thing. Now, if it's late in the match, it's a 4-4 situation, and you're the last man alive in a 1v1, should you hit the Paragon animation? It's a subtle flex, but if you're done setting up in the prep phase and want to sit down in a corner and show off the goods, then I don't think that's too detrimental to the experience. And again, this is a very loud aesthetic, but I can see them also releasing more old school style Siege Paragons that fit a more classic look. It's just now that Weapon Inspect is a thing, this was bound to happen. And yeah, I think this looks really good. At the very least, it looks polished and it's on par, if not better than what's featured in some other games. And apparently there's a lot more you get with it. And so this is our first look at the Paragon skins in Siege, with a scheduled release set for June 17th. So depending on when you're watching this, you may be able to get your hands on it. And yeah, I think it's cool. And if you do as well, you can now use code ZEN in the Siege shop. Open up the shop tab right at the bottom here, and you can use code ZEN, and on certain items you unlock, you can support your favorite creators and what we do here. So yeah, cheers. Next up, the insufferable reign of shield ops. It's coming to an end. Now, yes, the Clash Remaster is powerful, borderline cracked, but Clash has never really been the issue. The biggest culprits have been Blitz, Monty, and Blackbeard, and a lot of what's been the issue has been changed. So shields used to be just about unstoppable. They could essentially push into just about any room without much consequence, and now that just isn't the case. Essentially, shields can no longer look down when vaulting, and at first it might seem minuscule, but it now means that the most prominent hard counter to all shields is Frost. If a shield doesn't have a teammate to deal with the Frost trap, even if they know it's there, they cannot do anything about it while the shield is still up. They have a few options. It isn't completely hopeless, but it means that they're now exposed with nothing but a pistol to defend themselves and also to deal with the trap. So one option is to rappel up, flip upside down, and take out the mat, and the other is to put the shield on your back, vault over, and deal with it that way. Both options take more steps than literally every other operator in the game, and more importantly, they take up time. And so now, if you're up against a Blackbeard main or a super aggressive Blitz, Frost is your best bet to make things just more challenging for them. Next up, these two, Jaeger and Kapkan. Two defenders that have a few new tricks up their sleeve with some truly game-changing updates. To start with Kapkan, the single trap one-hit kill is back, and that's not clickbait. In the beginning, like when Siege launched 10 years ago, Kapkan launched with an EDD that would one-hit kill any attacker that walked through it. To balance this, there was a very obvious laser that you'd see, but every now and again you'd catch someone sleeping, and just like that, they're gone. Well, it is now possible to do this here in 2025, but only on certain maps and in specific places. Destructible ingredients. That's it. If you place a Kapkan EDD right next to one of the new red pipes and a careless attacker walks through it, just like back in year one, they're gone. Now, as of now, there's only 5 maps that feature these new red pipes, and that's Bank, Border, Chalet, Clubhouse, and Cafe, but there's more coming. Next season, in Season 3, they'll add Nighthaven Labs, Lair, and Consulate, and then to round out the year in Season 4, you'll get Skyscraper and Theme Park. And so Kapkan just automatically gets this absolutely lethal buff, and it is one of the best ways to utilize these new destructible ingredients. The other operator is Jaeger, and just in case you missed it, Jaeger now catches everything. There is no longer a limitation to his gadget. He used to be ineffective against both Gridlock and Capitao, and for them, you'd need to bring Wamai, but no more. Jaeger can now catch every single attacker projectile outside of bullets, which is nothing less than a buff to this operator. And it would seem that now, this will always be the case. Their reason for doing this was to make it easy to understand that Jaeger and Wamai both counter these gadgets, and so even for all future ops and future gadgets, there won't be some kind of limit to what they can and can't catch. I still say Wamai needs a buff after this, maybe one more magnet or an ACOG, but these operators serve the exact same purpose now, but handle the task of intercepting projectiles in their own unique way. But the time has come. You've loaded into Siege X and you're ready to kick off the new era. The first thing you'll notice is that you may have jumped a few levels, or a few thousand, and many people were curious what happened here. There's a new leveling curve that allows you to rank up faster and more consistently in the game. And so they've applied this new curve to your existing level, and some people have had some staggering gains. Some have been able to jump a couple thousand levels, and as for myself, I went from a level 337 to pushing past level 600. And so this new curve is definitely less stingy with experience than the previous one. But you may have also received some veteran rewards, which depending on when you first first played Siege, you'll get a reward. For the true veterans, and something I feel so blessed to have received, you'll be granted the all-new Coveted Ice weapon skin for the G36C. This can only be obtained by having played Siege for the first time back in year 1. And as beautiful as it is, and yes, it is different to the standard Black Ice, there is a problem. Most thought this would be a universal skin, just something to commemorate 10 years of playing Siege, but it isn't. It's only available on the G36C, which would be fine if it wasn't one of the least popular guns in the game, and only currently available on 2 operators, Ash and Iana. And in both of those cases, it's the less popular pick, with Ash mostly using the R4C and Iana with the ARX, and so there's some strong opinions. What I will say is, first and foremost, the G36C is an amazing gun. I actually do use it more often on both of these operators, and it's just a super consistent, easy to control weapon that gets it done. I have always loved the G36C, but yes, I agree. This should have been a universal skin. 10 years is a huge milestone and a very long time to stay with the game, and I think showing off this skin and touting it on a few other popular weapons would have been the chef's kiss on top. The badges you get for the year you started Siege are universal and can be placed on all of your operators if you want to flex, and so not having this super drippy custom Black Ice in the same way is a bit of a disappointment. But you guys will definitely see it here. I use the G36C, and as I've climbed up the ranks, I've begun to appreciate Iana more often. But you'll also know that I am a Cali main, and Ash is the biggest op, so that won't be as common of a thing. Yeah, but alongside launch, there are some problems and also some freebies. So let's start with the goodies. Just about everyone can claim this free charm through Ubisoft Connect to celebrate the launch of Siege X. Yes, it is literally the exact same charm as you'll find in the Siege X pack, but this time in yellow, and it's free to claim. Now, if you've played even one match of Dual Front in the beta, you get this exclusive card background called Shaping the Future, a subtle nod to those who helped pave the way. Also, and for the first time ever, if you watch just 3 minutes of a TikTok stream of Siege X with drops enabled, you get 5 alpha packs. This is probably one of the best time to reward payoffs because it's only 3 minutes and you get 5 free packs. And then there's a new Dokkaebi bundle from a community artist that you'll get if you watch 6 hours of Twitch streams with drops enabled. And as for some launch issues, they've addressed them as well. So both the new audio as well as veteran rewards will be updated here soon. So if you went without your Coveted Ice or are missing a badge to showcase how long you've been here, you should see a solution here soon. Now, this wouldn't be the biggest update ever without someone receiving the biggest nerf ever, and that's exactly what's happened to Jackal. And in grinding this season out, it's been apparent that this has heavily affected his pick rate. So Jackal now only gets 1 scan per footprint, and after scanning the footsteps, they disappear, meaning you can't rescan them and spam pings, and you also have to kind of slowly hunt down the defender to get the most out of the gadget, and it's made using this operator far less effective. Now, make no mistake, there's still lots to love about Jackal. If you're new, both of his weapons are S-tier guns that shred down enemies, and he has a secondary shotgun for breaching, but he was picked to corner roamers and constantly feed intel to his team, and that's just harder to do now. But I think it was time. Jackal's ban rate has decreased over the years, but that's mostly because they've introduced some truly mind-bending operators that are actually more frustrating to deal with, but Jackal has remained a point of frustration for players. Now though, he's toned back significantly, and even after these changes, he's still a threat, but I'm seeing less of him as a result. And then finally for operators, the Clash Remaster, and as a bonus, they dropped the Elite. Roll it. Now, guys, this operator is menacing. I mean, she's literally a 3-in-1. She's Monty with a full body shield that she can roam around with and fully protect herself. She's Osa with the ability to place the shield down, take cover behind it, and play off of it, holding angles, quick peeking, and challenging her opponents. And then she's Melusi with a remote activated taser that acts like a trap, slowing the enemy down and closing off parts of the map. Like, she does all of this in a single package and is even paired with the extremely good SPS MG9 for her sub and a super shorty if you want to help remodel the site. Guys, if you're not playing Clash, you absolutely need to be. And there's also an interesting gameplay mechanic that you need to know. So admittedly, even with all those features, when the shield is deployed, it's actually quite fragile. Just about any explosive will take it out, and the attackers have lots of explosive options. But the moment Clash picks the shield up, it's just immune to all of that. If Clash is holding the shield, there's just not much you can do about it. And so it's really when the shield is down that Clash is potentially at her worst. But late in the match, I don't think there's there's a better op. Clash just has so many options to choose how she wants to handle each and every situation that other operators just don't have, and it makes all the difference. And so now that she's here alongside the Elite, code Zen in the store, by the way, you cannot pass up this operator. This will be the only season ever where she cannot be banned, and so now is the time to use this operator at her peak without much of any consequence. Now, speaking of bans, Ubisoft have taken a hard stance against a problem that's plagued Siege since the beginning, and they've literally banned thousands of accounts in the most recent ban wave, and that's to Smurfs. Here's exactly what happened. We've heard your feedback on several bans that have been identified as unfair. Our latest major iteration served to enhance our database detection tools in Shield Guard, effectively catching a higher number of cheaters with the same accuracy. Rest assured that while we're confident in our system's accuracy and false positive rates are very low, we're keeping a close eye out for those who may have accidentally tripped the system and will make adjustments if needed. If you use an alt account to play under your skill level, you may risk tripping our cheat detection services. Please note that doing so is against our terms of service, and any bans placed onto an alt account will not be unbanned. And so essentially what happened was that bans went out, and many people who weren't like full on cheating were getting online and speaking out about getting banned unfairly. However, for the most part, it was Smurf accounts, which are essentially accounts that purposefully play under their skill level to kind of game the system and climb the ranks faster and easier. And yeah, that is considered cheating. And so those accounts were banned. But alongside that, some main accounts that were in some way associated with the Smurf accounts were also banned. This included some content creators and other prominent accounts. And surprisingly, yeah, your main account can also be subject to a ban if you do this. And so long story short, Smurf accounts and the act of smurfing in Siege is cheating. And your Smurf account as well as your main account might just get the boot for doing so. What do you think? And lastly here, guys, what's next? Now that Siege X has launched, is there anything down the pipeline to look forward to? So the first event we'll see is the Showdown at Fort Truth, my personal favorite in-game event. It's essentially a 3v3 match of secure area, but there's some unique twist. For one, it's played on a totally custom map, and we haven't seen this map in any other context since the first event released, and it's perfect. The object is to lock down a church, and of course be the first ones to capture it, or of course wipe out the enemy team. And the other bit is that everyone gets a revolver and a Boss G. It's been years, and I think it's the perfect opportunity to bring this one back and get a host of new players involved for the very first time. And beyond that, there's a literal boatload of content coming for the rest of year 10, alongside what could be our first ever defensive hard breacher. Guys, if you want to know all about it, check out this video here. And remember, use code Zen in the Siege shop. Guys, as always, a like is appreciated, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Hey, I'm out.